this candle. Here we go.
We'll go with it.
All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life. All my life, I've been waiting all my life.
We already know there's been about $145 billion impact. Roughly 8 million jobs were lost during the height of the pandemic.
Many restaurants may not survive the next few months.
COVID-19 has affected all of us in its own way, but no industry has been affected more than the service industry. With more than 17% of American restaurants closing their doors for good, millions have lost their jobs and their way of life. Some of these restaurants have been there for many generations, serving us comfort foods when we needed it most. It's time for us to give back and help those in need.
Hello and welcome to Just a Taste, the Great Pennsylvania Cooking Show. I'm Frank Schofield from Harrisburg University. Welcome to a night of entertainment, a night of giving, a night of hope, and a night of hopefully helping out some people that really need it during this pandemic. I am joined here with radio icon Nancy Ryan. Hello, Nancy, and welcome.
Hello, Frank. Thank you for asking me to be a part of this. It's an honor. It really is. I
Yep.
mean, we love to eat out.
Yep.
We love to cook. We love our local waiters and waitresses. We love the staff. And this is a perfect opportunity to help tonight. We are here at the world famous Rock Lidditz. I mean, this is amazing just in itself. We're in a COVID-safe bubble, and we're in the Choice Live studio right here at Rock Lidditz.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows that we are keeping our distance, we are at a safe distance, from each other. Everybody has been tested here. There's a very large staff that's helping everything out, but everything is very safe, and we're doing this the right way so that everyone's health is a priority. So why are we here tonight? Harrisburg University we've done concerts in the past, and virtual concerts was something that people were kind of angling towards. It kind of became clear that we wanted to maybe get into the cooking area. And with the industry as ravaged as it has been by this pandemic, it really seemed a real good opportunity to help those who are in need. We know so many restaurants in every town, every community, and every family knows people that have either lost their job as a waitress, as a sous chef, as a chef, or a shutdown restaurant or anything like that. And this is our opportunity to really help out. You can see the number right here. I'm sorry, right here.
Yes.
I get that mixed up
Of
sometimes.
course, it's okay.
It's right here. We want everyone to donate. Text HARP to 717-220-5661. That's the number that we're asking everyone to donate as we try to entertain and help out tonight.
Yeah, and as busy as things are starting to get back, starting to come back, we have some of our local Pennsylvania chefs. We have Tyler Hutchison, we have Jason Vikown, and we have Chef Bianco, Anthony Bianco from the Hilton, who also helped put this together tonight.
Yeah, we have the best chefs across the state. And so what are you going to expect tonight? So what's going to happen? We're going to ask people to donate, but we're also here to entertain as well. As we have brought these chefs together, what we're going to do is they're going to come out and demonstrate what they think is a good meal for them. They're going to show the tips of the trade. They're going to give advice. We're going to talk about what wines to pair together, how to cook, because I'm sure you're a great cook, Nancy. Is that accurate?
I'm an okay cook.
But everybody can. No, I bet
I
you're
love
good.
to cook.
I bet you're good. I mean, you have a food tree, so
It's a decoration, Frank.
Oh, okay. But everybody loves to cook, and this is something that everybody can take home. And especially with this pandemic, not as many people go out. I know we're helping out the restaurant industry, but people are cooking more at home. So we're going to give some tips, bring the chefs out, talk to them, ask their advice, and help this out. So this is going to be a great, great night. I'm really looking forward to this. We put a lot of effort into this.
And in addition to having our Pennsylvania chefs, we also have renowned Netflix superstar Roy Choi, who's going to be joining us throughout the evening. He actually reinvented the whole food truck industry.
Yeah, mean,
Yeah.
he was the one where, if you think about it, you know, food trucks are roach coaches, and then all of a sudden, he's the guy that made, you know, the chicken satay that were glorious, and all of a sudden everybody was eating them everywhere. He really made food trucks where you wanted to go get a food truck,
Yeah.
where it was really high end and really gourmet people could kind of get involved
Absolutely.
and get out there, and chefs could experiment how they were cooking. So as we put this show together, Harrisburg University, we were thinking about doing this show, and we really contacted Joe Massaro from the Hilton. I want to bring in Joe right now. Tonight, he's going to be known as Mr. Drink.
Mr. Drink.
Mr.
Right.
Drink. But
Love
Joe,
that.
first of all, I want to thank you for helping out with everything. You've obviously been instrumental in helping out, you know, tether these bonds that we're going to help out the industry. You got us together with the Pennsylvania Restaurant Association, and they've been very valuable. They've helped out so much. But thank you very much for everything. I'm looking forward to a great night.
Well, thank you, Frank and Nancy, and we appreciate so much you being here to help the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association raise money not only for those restaurant employees that have been displaced, but also those from hotels, other live venues, everyone wrapped up in the hospitality industry. You know, the unemployment rate in Pennsylvania is right now just under 10%, but in the hospitality industry, it's averaging around 35%. There are a lot of people out of work, no health benefits. They need our help. So we really appreciate you being here.
And a lot of industries are moving fine during this economy, but the restaurant industry, it's like bumpy roads and like
true.
speed bumps and stuff like that. So it's not really flowing yet. A lot of trouble. So that's why we're here to help.
It sure is.
All right, Mr. Drink, show us
Mr.
what
Drink,
you got. Let's start
so
the night.
Joe's going to give us some drinks throughout the night. So take us through what you're thinking here, buddy.
All right, so I do think I have the most fun job of the evening. I get to mix
I like
it.
when he goes like this.
Yes.
Let's go.
Right.
So I started my career in the hospitality industry behind the bar, so this is a lot of fun for me.
Okay.
As you would at home, you start the evening with a cocktail, so we thought we'd choose somewhat of a familiar drink with a little bit of a twist on it. It is a midwinter mule.
Okay.
So instead of the traditional vodka, we're going to put a little Maker's Mark bourbon in there.
Nice.
Instead of simple sugar, we have a cinnamon simple sugar. Of
What's-
course, ginger beer.
What is a simple sugar? Like, what is that? How do you put that mixture together?
Well, simple sugar is actually pretty simple. It's 1 part sugar, 1 part water. You bring it to a slow boil, let that sugar dissolve. But then we added about half that amount of cinnamon to give it that little wintry warmth.
Okay, are you talking about ground cinnamon or are you talking about cinnamon sticks?
We used ground cinnamon.
Oh,
You
very
could
nice, okay.
use cinnamon sticks as well.
That's like Tang, like Sunny D, like Sunny D.
Not quite like that.
Oh,
no.
sorry.
But what we're going to do is put a little ice in our shaker.
Okay.
All right. And this is for 1 drink. We're going to do a portion of bourbon, 2 ounces.
Samples tonight, Frank. Samples.
Samples. We're
And you
gonna-
know, Nancy, everybody's a bourbon guy now. Everybody loves bourbon.
Well,
bourbon is all the rage now.
You know, if you came onto it late, Frank, because
I know I did.
bourbon is classic.
It
I
really
know,
is
but
like
you
the
know what I
Kentucky
mean.
Derby.
Everybody's talking about it. Oh, I drink bourbon. Oh, okay.
I put about a half an ounce of that cinnamon sugar
Okay.
in there. It is all the rage. I like my bourbon just with a little bit of rocks on a warm fire, maybe a cigar. This is a fun way to introduce it into a cocktail.
Absolutely. My
Right?
husband always likes 2 fingers. That's so much he says.
2 fingers of
Pour me
bourbon?
2 fingers.
I do
yeah.
too, but unfortunately I do then another 2.
Oh,
and another
well,
2 sometimes.
Always.
Joe.
So I know, right? So we're going to put about a 1/4 ounce of fresh lime juice in
Okay.
there. And we're going to give that a nice little stir.
And these recipes will be available online for people to check out also.
They will be. And now we're going to pour a little sample here in your glass over,
Yum.
again, some fresh ice.
And it always has to be like a metal. I know Moscow Mule is a copper mug, so this you want it to get really cold.
That's
in
correct. And I would suggest you get a mug with a handle because it does get really cold.
Yes.
We're going to put a little bit of fresh rosemary in there.
nice.
We're going to put a little bit of fresh cinnamon in
Oh,
there.
even better.
Of
Look at
course, you
this.
have your, we rimmed the glass with lime. You've got your wheel of lime there.
Do you chew on that after? What do you do? You mix it and then what?
You just want to
what
let
do you do
it,
with
the aromatics of it, let that mix in there.
Okay.
Some people like to take it out when they're ready to drink. I don't mind having it in there a little while longer. I like that
Yeah,
strong flavor. So
exactly.
here's
All
to a
right,
great
cheers.
show. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers, buddy.
To our
Cheers.
industry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers to everything. Oh, boy, it's tasty.
All right, I could do some more of that.
Yum.
Okay,
Yum.
so while
Yum,
we're
yum.
enjoying this cocktail, how about we talk to, or actually get introduced to Roy Choi.
Hi, Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Scranton, wherever you are, from Pittsburgh to Philly. Love you guys. I have a lot of connections and friends and people who cook in the industry that are from Philadelphia. Got a lot of family members out there, so I'm very, very familiar with your state and your cities. My father went to college out there. So I have a deep love and affinity for Philly. I grew up in a food family. Food has been a part of my life for as long as I remember. Probably even before I was born, going back multiple generations. I just feel like my family and the roots of my family have always swirled around food production and food, the kitchen in some way or another. Myself growing up, I can't remember any time where food wasn't being stuffed in my face. I think that rubbed off on me in the way that I cook and the style and the food that I cook, where I try to cook food that's very communal and like I just try to share everything and not waste anything. Especially growing up, I saw so many people be able to find their purpose at a young age in life. For me, I'm kind of a late bloomer. I didn't find it until my mid to late 30s. It went from peddling tacos in the middle of the night outside of a nightclub into becoming a worldwide phenomenon within 3 months. And over the last 10 years, street food, entrepreneurial endeavors within food trucks and street food and selling your cherished recipe to being your own boss. All of those things blossomed over the last 10 years. All of that came at the time Kogi was happening. So because of that, my life will never be the same, and I'm indebted to that, and that's what my food has become.
Hey everybody, hope you are enjoying Just a Taste as much as we are. My name is Eric Noon. This is my beautiful wife, Christina Noon. We are the owner-operators of the Frogtown Chop House in Swiftwater, Pennsylvania, or the heart of the Poconos. We've been around for 8 years, and I'll tell you what, 2020 has been our biggest challenge.
It is really challenging to keep a business open when you don't know what mitigation orders are going to be put in place. Changing our policies, changing our procedures, changing our style of business overnight is challenging.
It's very challenging, but we continue to stand up, and we continue to be okay with being uncomfortable. What I mean by that is get out there and do what you have to do. You're going to have to change daily. We have, and many businesses around us have. But in these times, what I'm always most amazed about is get the people and what they give. The Harp program by the PRLA is an incredible, incredible life jacket to so many people in this industry. We're open, we're at 50%, but that's not enough. We need to be at 100. So until then, continue to be generous, continue to give, and we'll get through this in 2021. Thank you.
Hello, guys. This is finally the end of the drought. We are back to collegiate season. The summer is over. Everyone's back to play, and
we can come back. The other team came back. More energy, better comms, planning. Remember the fundamentals.
Being benched, it's a wake-up call of we need to work even harder.
Remember, guys, always do a little bit more than what you think you can.
There's a lot of pressure on the players to succeed.
I'm kind of worried about how our teammates are going to play it out.
Everyone wants to win.
We just need to go up on stage and put on a performance.
This is not the time to be frustrated. This is your only time to prove yourself. Literally the last 2 months of preparation, everything we've done comes down to today, this match.
1, 2, 3, start!
And we're back with Just a Taste, the great Pennsylvania cooking show. Nancy
Of
Ryder.
course.
Nancy, in that previous segment, we
Yes.
saw a couple that was down on their luck. The only way that they were getting income was through the hospitality industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they owned a restaurant, the two of them. You know, sometimes you got somebody that, you know, has that, what the rest of us would say, that stable job, and then
Right.
somebody goes out and, you know, they do their dream, and then they have the dream fall apart. This is a couple that's doing it together out in Stillwater, and we really do need to help. I mean, and a lot of times they feel we're going to be okay, but what are we going to do about the people, the families that depend on us with our restaurant?
Right. So that's why we really want everybody to give here. We want to thank our sponsors, Members First, Sun Motor Cars BMW, Twisted Grain Woodworks, TFB Hospitality, Flavor Blaster, Harrisburg University, and Dauphin County. Overall, we're really looking for everyone to text to give. Harp to 717-220-5661. And if you donate $250, Harrisburg University, we've done some concerts before, but if you donate $250, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Riverfront Park show either this year or next year. We did Death Cab for Cutie maybe a year ago. That was a great show. This year we have Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, Portugal the Man of Monsters and Men, and Cage the Elephant. So if you donate $250, you'll get there it is again, I messed up, 2 tickets to one of those shows. And don't forget, your donation is tax deductible. It's a 501c3 donation that goes to Harp, to the restaurant industry, and they will allocate where it goes out. So please donate and help us out as we start to entertain here and start getting into some live chefs.
Absolutely. And when you go to a show, you want to go to dinner at a nice restaurant before the show, right? So we're looking forward to everything getting back to business. But back to business, let's introduce our first chef.
Hi, my name is Tyler Hutchison. I am the chef de cuisine at Aqueous at Nemacolin.
It is time to bring on our first chef, Tyler Hutchison.
Here comes Tyler.
Come on.
Hi, Tyler. Come on.
Come
Let's
on,
hear
it smells so good in here.
Thank you so much.
Tyler, come on
Frank,
in
Nancy,
here.
hi.
Tyler, you're coming to us from Nemacolin.
Yes,
You're the
Nemacolin.
big chef there. You're getting it all done. Thank you for being part of this.
Thank you. It's an
for this
honor.
fundraiser.
Thank you so much.
So I do have a question.
Go ahead.
Because it's Nemacolin, and Nemacolin's been in the news, well, not news, but on the TV shows a little bit lately.
Yes.
But that's where The Bachelor and all the bachelorettes are. So
Yes.
I don't see a ring on your finger. Are you married?
No, not married.
Oh my gosh, were the girls hitting on you? Because you can cook.
I never seen them, so.
Enough about that. Tell us what happens with The Bachelor. You know all the secrets.
I don't know anything.
He's busy in the kitchen.
You don't know anything. Well, Tyler, thank you for being with us. I know you prepared this real quick. Talk to us. When did you decide that you really wanted to be a cook? Give us some background.
Working back in a small restaurant back in my hometown, I started out as dishwasher, and I just worked my way up from there. And when I went to culinary school, I moved down south and fell in love with seafood down there, and I brought it back to Nemacolin with me. So.
What is the most underrated seafood? I know you're a huge sea scallops fan.
Sea scallops.
Yeah.
So, can you rate them? What's the number one?
Number one to me is obviously scallops.
That's why he brought it for us tonight.
That's why I brought it for
Okay, so
you.
where would you rank seafood? Like, where's shrimp? Where's bass? Where's lobster?
Bass would be number 2 for me.
2?
Shrimp? Shrimp 5.
5?
5.
Okay, and
So.
I'm a West Virginia girl, so that's sort of southern for some people.
5 though.
So.
You're 5.
Tell me what about catfish?
Catfish? It all depends if you like catfish. So, in the top 10. Top 10.
Okay, that's very nice of you.
Chef Roy Choi is going to be cooking for us later in the meal, and this
Right.
meal is going to complement what he kind of put
Absolutely.
together. To talk to us about, this is your number one meal? If I'm coming to your house, this is it?
This is what I'm making you.
Okay,
all
let's
right?
hear about it.
So, sea scallops with a smoked local goat cheese, crispy Brussels sprouts, and a mustard aioli.
So I want to see you prepare it. Let's go.
So here
Yeah,
he
we
is
go.
kind of digging in there.
Yeah.
And we're watching him put it together right now.
Yep.
Did you have some Red Bull before you started cutting there? Because
You
you're
see
moving
how
pretty
fast
fast.
I'm moving right there?
You're
The
flying.
beauty of TV.
You're flying there, buddy.
Yep. So yeah, we're just
And what
cooking
you're,
up the sprouts
and what
here.
you're doing there, can
We're
you
just-
talk about blanching?
We're just blanching them, then we're getting them ready to for the finished product. So they're just getting blanched for a quick 60 to a minute 30.
While it changes the color, what does it do for the flavor?
Well, the water's seasoned with salt, so it helps out a little bit. And then when we cook it, we'll heat it with or shallots and garlic, salt and pepper, and butter, which you'll see here soon.
Right.
So here we got the scallops going.
So you're putting them in the dish there, and I see. Is there a pattern? Is there a system? Is there a superstition?
My
for cooking scallops?
my pattern is like I'm playing musical chairs with the scallops, so they're just always moving in the pan. And you know the trick with any
there it goes,
seafood.
Nancy. See that?
Yeah, see that. You
It's
don't
like
want to move
rotating.
them until they're ready to be moved. So
It's like rotating chairs. You're like going around in a circle there.
Yep.
And
so right there, we're just adding some fresh thyme, shallots, and garlic. And then when chefs say, you know, we cook with love, here comes the love right here.
Yes.
Butter. So.
oh my gosh, look how much butter you put in.
And we're just
You gotta
gonna
live a little,
baste 'em.
Frank.
That's like that was like a full stick of butter that just went in there. Did you see that? That was a full stick of
You're
butter.
not supposed to see how everything's made, Frank.
That's okay.
You know,
Yep.
just enjoy how. You know, it's not like you're going to eat all of that.
I know. I think butter's. I mean, I put butter on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Everything
I
in
love,
moderation.
I love butter. I get it.
Oh,
And this is why
This
I love
is
scallops.
amazing.
Thank
It
you
tastes
so much.
fantastic. This tastes so good. And you only cook one side of your scallop?
Only
you don't
one
cook,
side. You don't
why?
want to overcook them because if you cook both sides, they'll become chewy and rubbery, and you don't want that.
Is that
these
normal?
are perfect. These are perfect.
Thank you so much.
Oh
And
my
you-
gosh,
so
I've
you-
messed up scallops more times than I can tell you.
You put them on there to dry them out,
Yep. Now we're going to saute the
and then
Brussels
you put the
sprouts here.
sprouts in.
And
Yep.
I didn't. Do you use malt vinegar in this?
I did add malt vinegar to this. Yep.
Okay, because I knew there was a taste that I recognized, but
Yep.
wow, that's wonderful. Mm. And these Brussels sprouts are fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember when nobody was doing Brussels sprouts, and then all of a sudden everybody
blew
was
up.
doing
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts? Like everybody was doing
Yep.
it. You put a little vinegar in there, and you're going to whip it around.
Then guess
Oh
what?
my God! Look
guess
at
what,
this.
Frank?
Look at this.
More butter.
More. Are you going to put that in there? There it goes.
There it goes,
More butter. Why don't we just call this butter and scallops?
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I feel amazing, but I will tell you right now, I walked 4 miles this morning. So
This is so
So
good.
you're
I'm
ready
not
to
just
go.
leaving the sedentary lifestyle. If I'm gonna eat like this, I'm gonna get up and move around a little
That's
bit.
right.
Yeah.
So you're pulling them sprouts out. You're going to take a look at them.
And then these are like chips, so you took a little bit of these right
Took a
here
little
at
bit
the
of
end.
the chips and fried them off for garnish. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
So here goes the local goat cheese we use right on the plate.
Oh, perfect. Perfect amount
Do
of
you-
saltiness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you ever change the order or the display? Do you always
It all
plate it the
depends
same
on
way?
what's on the components on the plate and the plate
Right.
we're using. So it all depends.
Ever add bacon?
Always add bacon, yeah.
But not here.
Not on this one, no.
Oh,
So
it looks fantastic. It looks delicious.
Tyler, this
Thank you.
is
thank you.
It's so good.
it's a perfect bite.
And those are the crunchy ones.
Those are the
Tyler,
crunchy
talk about a little bit about Nemacolin. What's the future out there? How are you guys adapting out there to get
The future is looking amazing. It's looking bright. What we've done since the start of this is, you know, we wanted to make sure the first thing was, you know, associate and our guest safety
Right.
first, and it's just been such a great journey from
That's
doing
awesome.
it. So,
I want to bring in Mr. Drink, Joe Massaro.
Mr. Drink,
Joe's going to do some wine pairings for us with all of our drinks here. Joe, you're missing out. You're missing out on a great meal here.
Well, it looks absolutely delicious, and we thought we would consult with our partners, Jackson Family Wines, and ask them for a little bit of advice about what they thought might pair best with some of these dishes. So Frank complained a little bit he didn't have enough mule earlier, so we're giving you 2 wines with this course.
Well, Joe,
And,
you didn't put the ginger beer
gave you a
in
little
it.
taste.
Go to the video replay, folks. Just watch what happened with the
Forgot
with
to
the
put
mule.
the ginger
Okay.
beer in. I'll admit it.
I was fine without it, but okay.
We faked the drink.
We did
Okay.
it after. We did that off camera. But let me tell you a little bit about these wines. We chose 2. One is a Freemark Abbey Sauvignon Blanc. Sauvignon Blanc is a French grape. This particular wine was made in Napa Valley, a little bit warmer climate than where it might traditionally be in France. So you have some cantaloupe, apricot, a little tangerine flavors in that, some nice minerality, and nice acidity. So this would be a classic pairing with scallops. We also went a little bit in a different direction with this Willackenzie Pinot Gris. Pinot Gris is the same grape as Pinot Grigio. Pinot Gris in French.
So sweeter, tartar, right?
Not necessarily sweeter or tartar. It's
went the wrong
different
way.
flavor profile. Maybe you might say it's a little more tropical, Asian, some Asian pear
Right.
notes
nice.
and flavors throughout that. A little bit creamier. From Oregon, the Willamette and the Mackenzie Rivers meet right in that valley, and this is where that wine is made.
All right.
So enjoy.
Fantastic. This
Yeah.
is fantastic.
I love it.
Right?
Thank you.
This is
So good.
We are certainly
Cheers.
the
Thanks,
chefs
Cheers.
here.
thanks for the tips.
And thank you very much, Tyler, for coming with us today to help
no,
out
thank
this
you. This
charity.
has been an honor.
As we continue to raise money here, text Harp to 717-220-5661 to help out, those in need. Coming up at the end of the show, we're going to be featuring Roy Choi. He's going to be cooking a meal for us, and then we're going to have a live Q&A with him where he's going to be answering questions just to kind of figure out what is the future, how is he adapting, or what would he give recommendations for future people. But let's get a little background on Roy, and let's kind of see what he's thinking before he gets into cooking.
I was a nameless chef cooking your breakfast or your company party or your college retreat, and then one day I lost everything. The 2008 economy crashed. I got fired from my job. I couldn't find another job. I was kind of overqualified and overpaid at that time in life for because I had built a career over 10 years up until then and ascended to as high as I could go within the corporate food kitchen world. And I kind of reached the end of the road of that life. And then in 2008, with the merging of technology and social media, the collapse of the economy and food blogging just starting, I found myself in the center of that perfect storm. And that's when Kogi emerged. And that's when all of the food that I grew up around, which I didn't really think of that you could cook as a profession, because I grew up here in Los Angeles around tacos, around tamales, around bowls of rice and stews and grilled sausages and hot dogs and fish and meats and stuff, and I didn't know that food, the food of your childhood, of your family, of your heritage, of your city, could be who you become, as an adult. I didn't know, and for those of you maybe that did know before, or were able to follow your passions earlier, I'm in awe of that. I see so many, especially growing up, I saw so many people be able to find their purpose at a young age in life. For me, I'm kind of a late bloomer. I didn't find it until my mid to late 30s.
Good evening. I'm Mike Wilson, Chief Marketing Officer and Chief Relationship Officer at Members First Federal Credit Union. On behalf of the entire Members First family, we are honored to support tonight's event. At Members First, we have a long-standing history of supporting our community, and Just a Taste is especially important to us given its benefit of supporting hospitality employees who have been adversely affected by the pandemic. Tonight's event will certainly be entertaining as we learn from 4 accomplished chefs, and it's meaningful to know that there's a greater purpose to it. Thank you to Harrisburg University, Hilton Harrisburg, Dauphin County, and PRLA for recognizing an opportunity to support our local small business community. At Members First, we have a mission to support our members, associates, and communities through support, empowerment, and meaningful relationships. We understand that businesses, especially those in the hospitality industry, have been faced with some extremely tough challenges throughout this past year. We welcome the opportunity to be of service, whether it's through the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program, other relief options, or simply by providing guidance during this difficult financial time to both business owners and consumers. As we expand our footprint into 8 counties throughout Central PA and enhance our robust digital banking channels, Members First stands ready to help and happy to serve. Our local communities are so important to us, and we are committed to helping them flourish. We hope tonight's event provides you with some great entertainment, all while supporting a very worthwhile cause. Thank you to Hilton Harrisburg, which has been a personal light in my life and is always been the city of Harrisburg's golf course. And thank you, Harrisburg University, for doing something innovative and leading the pack once again. Thank you all, and have a wonderful evening.
We put our Tanya's first.
And her sister, leaving comfortable corporate jobs behind to launch their small business to help other small businesses was no small task. Fortunately, there's the Members First app for that. From opening their accounts to making deposits, tracking expenses, and even the chat feature, our mobile banking app helps the sisters keep their small business operating big time. The Members First mobile app, banking at the speed of small businesses.
We put our members first.
Hey, my name is Spoonie. I'm from O'Neill's Pub here in Queen Village, Head House District of Philadelphia. And I just wanted to tell you what we've been dealing with for the last 10 months during this pandemic. First off, we started on St. Patty's Day, which happens to be our busiest day of the year. And we were only allowed to do to-go food. So that alone was crushing on the first day that we opened the doors. Well, didn't really even open the doors, but we were only doing to-go food. So after that, we started off doing to-go drinks and outside dining, in which we had to build a streetery, which obviously had cost us some money. Then we moved on to doing some inside dining, which abruptly stopped due to the COVID increased cases, so that we had to stop doing inside dining and we were only allowed to do outside dining. That really is hard during the winter time. Once again, we are allowed to do inside dining at 25% of our seating capacity, which is not much, but it is a beginning progress back to get some footing. We've continued to help our community through different events, which would be Toys for Tots, or donating dinners to hospitals, police, firefighters, and grocery store workers. Long story short, our industry has been crushed, and we're struggling to stay afloat as we continue to write this book in these uncharted waters. We have employees that need to take care of their families and take care of themselves. I just want to thank everybody for their support, including our regulars and everybody out from far away that has sent greetings or whatever they have done. So please support the Harp Fund, and our friends at Just a Taste will let you know how to donate to that fund. Thank you. Have a great day.
And we're back with Just a Taste, the Great Pennsylvania Cooking Show. And Nancy, when you hear Spoonie's story, when you hear him talk about the hardship, that they're going through, you can multiply that times 1,000, 7,000 across the state of Pennsylvania, from Erie to Scranton.
Honestly, I want to hug him.
Right.
That's what the service industry is. It's just a big, gigantic hug. And we want to get back into our restaurants. 25% is not acceptable, you know? And when you look at 25%, what's that doing for the service people that actually get to come back?
And you think about all the family memories that you have.
Oh my gosh.
What do you do when you celebrate? You go out to eat.
We were
lucky
lucky enough.
What do you do out for confirmation or graduation or whatever? Or let's think about the weddings. Let's think about the funerals. I don't say it happily, but let's think about the funerals where there's, morning after where people have to heal. This industry has just been crushed and decimated.
Absolutely. One of the best parts of last year in 2020 was our daughter's birthday, the beginning of August, and we were able to go to 1,700 degrees ad lib for my daughter's birthday at the Hilton.
And so many people, whether it be the waitresses or the chefs, they're out of work. They can't get back online. They can't pay their bills, and they can't do whatever.
You can't wait. This is what this is all about tonight.
And the Restaurant Association of Pennsylvania has put up this fund to help those in need. And that's why we want you to text to give. Text the word HARP to 717-220-5661. If you donate $250, you'll receive 2 tickets to a Riverfront Park show, either this year or in 2022. And don't forget, it is a tax-deductible donation. 501c3 is how it's going to be set up through HARP, and that money will get allocated and distributed really to those in need.
So let's get back to what our chefs love doing. That's right. Bringing out the food and making us happy. Let's meet our next chef.
All right, we're back here again, and let's bring out our next chef. He hails from Central Pennsylvania. You might know him as the founder of Greystone Public House or Greystone Brew, Mr. Jason Vikown. Jason, come on in.
Hey, how you
come
doing,
on in, buddy.
Frank and Nancy?
How are you?
I introduced you like you were a football player, like you had like X amount of receptions. Thanks for being with us here for this great charity.
Oh, thank you. This is a great opportunity. A lot of hospitality employees struggling right now. I have 2 restaurants and a lot of employees of my own. You know, we were fortunate to bring most of them back right now, but still the amount of hours, they're not getting their full hours and the full amount of tables because of the 50%. So they're still struggling even though we're bringing them back.
I mean, I've been in there at Greystone where I've seen, you know, they're hustling and they're back behind the bar, but people can't sit at the bar and they have to, everything is just not the way we know it.
No, but, you know, the guests have been real supportive with us, and, you know, we're doing temperature checking, sanitation.
Are people tipping more?
Oh, yeah. There were probably...
Normal's 15. What are they doing now?
About 35%.
That's great.
On average. So
that's good to hear.
It really helps. I mean, I've seen servers at the end of the day look at the amount of tips and what they did in sales, and they're crying because they can't believe they made that much. So it means a lot to them.
No, we appreciate you being here. I want to talk a little bit about you. As you were growing up, your influences, when did you figure out that you wanted to be a chef? Like what triggered that off in you?
Well, I love food, and I lived with my grandmother for a little while in Philadelphia. We used to do parties at our house. I learned a lot, but my dad also owned 2 restaurants. So I actually, when I was 12 years old, lived in the basement of my dad's restaurant.
Oh my
so I was knee deep into
the basement.
In the
That's
basement.
A story.
It's funny because the food delivery driver, some of them still work in the industry. They're like, "Are you Ken's son? We used to bring the food right through your bedroom."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You grab a loaf as they walk by?
Yeah,
Seriously, that's a reality show right there.
Yeah, so I grew up right in the industry, starting out as a busboy, dishwasher,
and you've had great success.
Cooking, yeah.
I mean, you created Brico, you moved on to Allentown, and now you created Greystone Public House. Talk to us a little bit about the dish you put, and let's just see if we can watch you put this together and you can explain it to us.
All right.
So here you are. Is that your kitchen, by the way?
Wow, Jason.
Wow.
Yeah, we did at my
Jason.
house, so I didn't have to wear a mask, because in the kitchen at the restaurants we have to wear masks.
Of course.
Look at that backsplash. Holy cow.
That's
so
beautiful.
right now I'm making the pierogi dough. This is a recipe actually during quarantine I've been trying to perfect. There's no egg in this dough. It's butter, flour, and water and salt. This way, if you do add meat to it, you could actually make these pierogies kosher. And also, a lot of people have egg allergies, so the more I can, be able to manipulate these. And actually, I think it's a better dough. The dough doesn't come out as chewy. I think it's a little nicer dough without the eggs. And there's no sour cream in this dough, no egg. It's, and then if you wanted to take the butter out, you could actually use chicken fat.
Right.
So now I'm making the filling. Now, you have to have potatoes to be a pierogi. That's one basic thing. This, I added some fresh sage. I did add a little chicken fat instead of butter or sour cream. But we also going to add a little, I like tearing up my herbs. I think when you chop them up, they bruise them. So most herbs I just tear apart. I'm adding some local goat cheese. This is a goat cheese farmer in
Looks like you had a Red Bull before when you were making this
you guys,
as well.
speeded that up pretty good. So there's your basic filling.
Okay.
And I'm putting a little bit of filling in there.
And this is the pierogi part of the dumpling family, or are they all the
it's
same?
It's definitely a dumpling.
It is a dumpling,
right? It's a potato
wonton
dumpling.
Same thing.
Now you can see I actually make mine like a wonton. So most pierogi purists would look at that and say, well, that's a wonton, but that's just the way I like crimping them.
Yeah, see, I'm
now
way
here's
behind
the tricky part. This is pierogi halushki. If you're from the Schuylkill County area,
Halushki.
Halushki.
Kalushki.
Halushki.
With an H.
With an H. This is a mainstay of the coal mining region. Great food for Lent. Caramelized, simple dish. Caramelized onions. Then you cook up the cabbage. You can add a little water and chicken stock. Normally, you would add a potato noodle or an egg noodle to this, and that would be it.
Look at that.
You see people add peas and ham and bacon to it.
Yeah.
Halushki purists don't want that.
This is so good, Jason.
So here I'm actually boiling off the pierogi. So what I like to do is I like to cook them off for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They'll actually float to the top when they're done. So once they float, I pull them out.
Amazing.
Now, My son
halushki's
just likes
something.
You take this and you toss it in butter. My son's done. Now we'll put his plate aside, and then we make the rest of the family's meal.
Oh my
So Wayne Gretzky, the greatest hockey player ever, he always had sour cream with his pierogies.
Yeah, you
Now,
sour cream or creme fraiche. So either one of them.
Is there anything else
work.
that goes with pierogies, or is it only sour cream? Because
Sour cream's all you need. There's nothing else you really need. So this is where in the Pittsburgh area they're going to call me out on. You add the halushki to the crispy pierogies, and they're going to roll over in their grave. They're going to be like, "What are you doing, Jason?
What are you doing?
This isn't halushki." But we're being a little creative,
Of course.
just like Roy Choi. We're taking a simple dish and giving it a little flair. So you can see I like a hard sear on it, but they do soften up because you're adding all that moisture back in. So they're going to suck in all the chicken stock and butter. And
can you boil them and steam them? Are there different ways to make a pierogi?
you steam it, and then you can serve them like that or,
Okay.
or sear them afterwards. Well, there's your sour cream there. Look at that hunk of sour cream.
I got it right here.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
full already.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hard stop.
This is fantastic.
No, it isn't.
This is
It's
very
so
well done.
good.
So let's go over to Joe Massaro. Joe's pairing up our wines here, and you've got that
drink.
great meal in front of you.
We do. So this is absolutely beautiful, Jason. Great job. What we chose for this dish was the Cambria Catherine's Vineyard Chardonnay. This is 100% Chardonnay from Santa Barbara. It is actually it was on the top 100 list from both Wine Spectator and Wine Enthusiast over the last 2 years. It's from a certified sustainable vineyard. Beautiful hints of pink grapefruit, apple, tangerine. It sees a little bit of oak, but it also has some great acidity. So this is going to be a terrific pairing with the pierogi and the goat cheese and sour cream.
There you go.
Shall we?
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Oh,
Good job,
the
Jason.
wine smells great.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason, for coming. Thanks for being part of this charity. The best of luck. You're a rock star in Central PA. I think
Oh,
you're
thank
great.
you.
All right.
Thank you.
So Roy Choi will be joining us later in the show, but again, I think he has some things he wants us to know.
It went from peddling tacos in the middle of the night outside of a nightclub into becoming a worldwide phenomenon within 3 months. And it completely changed my life. I think parts of the city, I think the people of the city, and then I think a lot of people around the world. And over the last 10 years, street food, entrepreneurial endeavors within food trucks and street food, and selling your cherished recipe to being your own boss. All of those things blossomed over the last 10 years. Entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, communication, being able to move food into the top echelons of culture and make it the first thing that you look at on your social media feed. Because of that, my life will never be the same, and I'm indebted to that, and that's what my food has become.
Now more than ever, Interiors Home is here to give you the looks you love. Save 25 to 40% store-wide, plus get an extra $50 off for every $500 you spend. No limit. Save 40%, plus get an extra $100 off this sofa, now $948. Save 40%, plus get an extra $300 off this bedroom. Save 35%, plus get an extra $400 off this dining room. The more you buy, the more you save. At the Love Your Home sale at Interiors Home in Lancaster and Camp Hill.
Pop, pop, pop. La, 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 la. Yeah. Like it, like it, like it. I'll make it say yeah. Da, 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 da. I like it.
Do you have type 2 diabetes and are afraid it will lead to dialysis, loss of eyesight, heart attack, or even amputation? Or maybe you're going through this right now. Our program will help you reverse your type 2 diabetes. Go to reverseyourdiabetes.com. Our entire mission is to provide you with a natural, non-drug approach so you can finally get off those daily meds.
I started doing everything they told me in November. And by May 5th, 6 months later, I was diagnosed no diabetes. The day they told me I didn't have diabetes anymore, I could not even touch the ground. I was so happy. Happiest day of my life.
Schedule a time for one of our limited appointments. It includes A1C test, diabetes assessment, diabetes score, and our diabetes reversal video seminar. Go to reverseyourdiabetes.com today so you can reverse your type 2 diabetes, get off those meds, and get your life back.
Hi, my name is Justin Genslinger. I'm the CEO of Settlers Hospitality Group in the Pocono Mountains in Northeast Pennsylvania. I have the privilege of serving on the Northeast Chapter Board for PRLA. It was very clear from the beginning that one of the things being left out in the cold, so to speak, early during COVID-19 was that the employees of the restaurant and lodging businesses, and really like tourism in general, were being hit the hardest with the least amount of immediate reactive help. It was an emotional time, and it was sort of, well, we have a lot of arms and legs that want to work. What can we do to help? Like, should we be doing food drives? Should we be raising money? And PRLA came up with this concept for Harp of, well, let's do something a little bit bigger. In our state, in our industry, this is a way of doing larger than a community drive for, a handful of restaurants, but to touch thousands of employees. I think we're up to almost 1,300 grants, and, we're closing in on $500,000 of cash to come through the fund to go directly into people's pockets. We're still not out of this. None of us are operating on full cylinders. We're talking about vaccines. We're talking about next phases, but we are still months away, and a lot of restaurants will still go out of business before we get to that next phase in the pandemic. And even when we do, the cost of change and operating in whatever that next world is going to have a financial hit to our employees. The lasting effect of COVID-19 on hospitality in Pennsylvania will be years, not months. So hopefully we can all do a little bit of something to help. Hopefully whoever sees this understands the gratitude that we have for your donations at a time when basically it's the hardest time to ask for it.
We wouldn't be able to do this show or to raise this money without the sponsors. We're asking everybody to give here. We're asking you to text Harp to the phone number that you see there on the screen. Many thanks to the Dauphin County Commissioners, to Harrisburg University, who we have presented this show, the Harrisburg Hilton, Joe Massaro, Members First, Sun Motor Cars, and Twisted Grain Woodworks, Josh Funk with TVF Hospitality, Flavor Blaster, and so many more. But this is a part of time where you see so many people in need. And, it's just...
Think about it.
It's just brutal to hear about. And then whether you bring down the political landscape or you bring out the hardship of what is actually happening, this is a really tough time.
Yeah.
And while there's certain industries, manufacturing, construction, everybody's fine, cruising along.
Some are.
Restaurant industry, whew, man, they are just hurting.
Restaurant music.
Yeah, don't.
I know.
That's
exactly.
a whole other fundraiser.
That's no, but honestly, Frank, and that's something that we, we're talking about restaurants coming back, and Jason was just in a few minutes ago and talking about bringing the employees back. But for every one employee, think about the hundreds and the thousands of people that maybe are not getting an unemployment check yet, or their savings have run out. Or somebody got sick in the family. These are unprecedented, and I know that's a cliche, but desperate times for so many people.
And the awkwardness of just seeing these plastic bubbles outside our restaurants where people kind of have to figure it out because they can't be inside, so we're faking it, so now we're outside.
Nope. So text, help a neighbor. Text and help a neighbor if you can.
And don't forget, it is a 501c3 tax-deductible donation, so please help us out.
And we're getting close. Let's bring out our next Pennsylvania chef.
There we go.
Good evening. My name is Anthony Bianco. I'm the executive chef here at the Hilton Harrisburg.
Nancy, was that Sade?
I don't know who
Was
it
that
was, but it
was
was
that
like
Sade?
it was like an adult lullaby
Like
of some
something
sort.
going-
I don't know what was
something
happening, but
groovy.
it was good.
Let's bring out our next chef, Anthony Bianco. Bring him on out here from the Harrisburg Hilton. Chef, come on out here, buddy.
And let's not forget about 1700 Degree Steakhouse. We were just there.
A Central BA staple.
Chef.
Chef,
Nancy, how are you today?
Hi.
thanks for being with us here today.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Truly appreciate it. Talk to us a little bit about how you got started in cooking. I think it's a fascinating story. You did a couple other things, but tell us that moment that it kind of went off in your head.
When it kind of went off in my head, I can remember calling my mom. I'm looking at a chalkboard and I'm seeing all these letters on the chalkboard, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be a math teacher right now, and I don't see a number on the chalkboard. And I was like, I think I'm done with this. So I did. I kind of re-geared, retooled my directions, went to a local culinary school over at Harrisburg Area Community College, and for the last 13 years I've been at the hotel.
I love the fact that you've done that. I mean, you don't have to go to CIA in New York. Harrisburg Area Community College has had an amazing effect on local chefs, and you've stayed here.
It has, and I mean, Jason was here earlier. He played a huge part in that.
Yep.
Chef Reese, who is I'm the predecessor too, he was here, and they did a great job kind of cultivating a large metropolitan food scene in a small capital city like Harrisburg.
So where do you get your greatest joy from cooking? Is it in the back, the camaraderie of the chefs and everybody in the back, or is it serving the people outside and knowing that you've given them a satisfied meal and giving them a memory?
Yeah, and I don't want to be too romantic about it, but in all
Do
honesty,
it.
like I've got a huge
We
family.
just had Sade. It's okay.
That's true.
You can be
I've got
romantic.
I've got a family that's full of big love, and this industry, you kind of you make sacrifices in order to be part of it away from your family, and you develop a new one, inside the kitchen. You're with them through thick, thin, long hours, and this kind of whole COVID environment has kind of removed you from them as well, because they're not able to kind of see your family on the same basis that you once did. So it really is the team atmosphere within the back of the house that
So
kind
we
of
have
puts
Chef
you.
Roy Choi coming up on the back end here.
Yes.
He'll be following you. Your meal is going to complement what he put together. So why don't we take a look and watch you put this together?
Please, let's do it.
Here's Chef chopping them onions up.
Yeah,
More Mountain. Is this Mountain Dew that you had?
No, I'm working pretty fast right now.
Right.
But the whole purpose of this dish, we're doing a charred carrot dish that's kind of glazed in smoked ham hocks with persimmon, a little bit of orange, and also a carrot top and hazelnut gremolata kind of to finish the dish. So right now, I'm just really building the foundation. I'm getting
Right.
my ham hocks in the rondeau and getting
never-
my stock ready to
I've never seen,
to
I
develop.
didn't know anything about the ham hock. Like, this is a whole new thing to me, the ham hock. What is a ham hock?
Ham hock is the bottom part of the pig's leg that kind of connects and includes the knuckle that connects the pig's leg to the pig's foot.
Right.
And when braised after they've been smoked for these kind of making our stock, they're also braising at the same time. And they become nice and tender. You'll see here in a little bit that they'll fall off the bone. And that's when you know they're done.
And the Dutch oven, underrated, overrated?
Perfectly rated. And all
Perfect.
that. You
Love
can
it,
do a
Dutch
lot
oven.
with it. And I think
Yeah.
that's why a lot of people are using it. You don't have to worry about overfilling it. You can make stocks. You can sear in it. If you're braising chicken or anything along those lines. So
I keep
it's
a
great
Dutch,
for-
I keep a Dutch oven on my stove at all times.
It's great for moist cooking.
yeah.
It's great for dry cooking. So it's really multifaceted.
How long did that sit in there? Boy, look at that, Nancy, on the video. Look at that. Look how
That
good that
took
looks.
about,
that looks,
5 hours
I
to
want
get
that
it
piece right there.
to that
Is it
state.
5 hours?
Yes.
Okay.
5 hours.
Yeah, and we're also at the same time, like I said, we're trying to create a really rich and flavorful stock that we inevitably glaze the carrots with. So a little bit of honey.
Talk about your tomato cutting there. What's that about?
Oh, so that's a persimmon. So
Oh,
that's a
okay.
persimmon. That's not a tomato. Yes, at first glance,
Oh,
it
looks
might
like
look like
It
one.
looked like a tomato. I'm sorry.
But that's okay, because we can also follow the recipes that Chef Bianco and the other chefs have given us.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've only ever used a persimmon as a decoration.
They're
at the
great. They look a
holidays.
lot like fall Thanksgiving.
I know,
That's
I
really
know.
when they're most popular. But you can find them at Giant. You can find them at local
Yeah.
food stores and Wegmans. But they've got a nice kind of apricot texture, mango type of flavor on your mouth.
And why is everybody afraid to zest? Everybody's afraid to do it. You hear
We're
about
just
it.
hanging out with Frank. I don't know anybody who's afraid to zest
I'm
a
not
fruit. I don't
I'm intimidated
Stop
by
being
that.
afraid.
I'm very scared.
Oh.
I'm scared in the kitchen.
So you can see the char on the carrots. It's a really great way to prepare a carrot.
Oh, and
Whether
we
it's
have
on
it
the
right in
grill,
front of us.
Don't be shy about getting some of that crust on it. And much like any other vegetable, it adds a depth and it adds a kind of that dark char to it that creates texture.
And a little
as well.
caramelization there, a little sugary.
Beautiful.
So here's
Oh.
some local honeycomb that we're putting in there. just to start our glaze, we'll have the butter, and then we'll hit it with a little bit of that ham stock, reduce it to get the nice
With
kind of
that
charred
cheese?
carrot.
I know.
So this cooks like an appetizer. It cooks like a side dish, but this is a meal, Nancy.
It's a side
Yeah,
dish.
I mean, think about it.
But it really feels like a meal when you get into it.
That's because it has everything you might need. It's got the protein in the ham hock. It's got the richness and smokiness of the stock and the.
How did you
and the
find
charred
this?
carrot.
How were you introduced to this meal? Because it's fantastic.
Just in kind of
Don't say you pulled it out of
collaborating
a
with the
recipe
chefs.
book.
No. With collaborating with the chefs, there was we needed a side dish that also was
So you
representative
created
of what
it.
we do in the hotel.
This
We did.
is-
Yeah.
That's you're the first chef here today to do that. Good
I don't know
for
about
you.
that. No.
Good for you, buddy.
So it's a pretty neat dish. It can be served on a platter, alongside of a cheese border, some crusty bread. You could kind of put all the components on a cracker or anything along those lines and end up with a really nice kind of amuse-bouche or something.
Nancy, the cheese with the ham hock, with the carrot, it's just watch this.
You're making them like carrots. It's awesome. And the greens are from the carrots, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So a little bit of reserved carrot top from the baby carrots that we use, and also some flat leaf Italian parsley, which growing up in my household, it was either flat leaf parsley or no parsley. Like there is no such thing as curly parsley. It just doesn't offer the same herbaceousness or
The
the same
cheese is
offer.
so creamy.
So that's a Pierre Robert triple cream brie.
Pierre Robert was a DJ in Philadelphia.
Right. You talk about him often, so I don't know
WMMR.
about, yeah, no, he's a
I didn't
tremendous
know you made
cheesemaker.
cheese.
Persimmon is a perfect touch.
Thank
So
you.
let's go over to Mr. Drink there. Mr. Drink,
Hey, so let's
you
talk
two
about.
know each other well.
We
Talk
do.
about it.
We do. Part of that family that Anthony just spoke
Yes.
about. So this is a terrific dish. Again, Anthony, thank you. When we consulted with Jackson Family Wines and their sommelier, Molly Battenhouse, we said we want something to transition from the pierogi to the carrot and brie dish off to the pork schnitzel. So this Chardonnay, the Cambria that we just had earlier, is a great pairing with this dish. It'll also go with the pork that we're going to have. But for those that want a little bit of red or want to transition into red, this Siduri Pinot Noir is also from the same region in Oregon that the Pinot Gris is from. 100% Pinot. Actually, Siduri is Babylonian for goddess of wine. A little bit of
that's
trivia
me.
there for you. Black cherry, cinnamon.
You are
those
the
real
goddess of wine.
characteristics of fine tannins, not like a Cabernet that's got a really heavy tannin.
Right.
Some great acidity. So either one of these wines will go well as we transition. And what we hoped to do was create something for those of you at home where all these dishes can go on the table, a couple bottles of wine can go on the table, and family style people could just share and enjoy. So again, cheers. Congratulations.
Cheers. Great stories
Cheers,
and thank you
cheers,
to the families
Nancy.
and the chefs. This is beautiful. Thank you.
This is fantastic. As we sit here and roll on here with our chefs and are raising money here for the restaurant industry, the hospitality restaurant industry of Pennsylvania. With that being said, we have Chef Roy Choi that's going to be coming here tonight, and I believe this is his main meal, correct? So Roy's going to put together a meal. You can find this in his cookbook and online. After we see what Roy's going to do here, we're going to do a live Q&A with Roy Choi. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roy Choi.
We're going to make a pork schnitzel today. We have flour. I'm going to crack some eggs, and we have panko breadcrumbs. I want to season that flour just a bit. With every type of breading flour, think of it just like when you salt pasta water. Just enough. The next what we're going to do is we're going to make our egg wash. So what we're going to do is we're going to whisk. Whether you're whisking with a fork or a whisk, always try to create air as you're whisking. We have pork shoulder here, or pork butt. Okay, so you want a kind of a regular steak piece because you don't want to make it too big, the cut too big. Kind of weigh your cut out, because what we're going to do is we're basically going to enlarge this by at least double. All right, so we have our steak in there, or our pork shoulder, and we're going to now pound it out. Okay, so we're going to take this. We're going to drop this schnitzel into the flour first. What we want to do is we want to coat it in flour, and this is what we call dredging. And then what we want to do is we want to shake it off. Taylor Swift, she's from Pennsylvania. That was my dad joke of the day. Shake it off. All right, here we go. Always keep one hand dry. You want to coat it in your egg wash here. What you want to do is you want to let that egg wash drip all the way. And then put it in your breadcrumbs. The way I like to do breadcrumbs is cover the whole thing like that. You know, food sometimes when you do it right, it looks right, right? You see that? That just looks right. And now we'll put that in there. Of course you want that sizzle at the beginning, right? So we're putting just enough oil so that the top part of the schnitzel is slightly exposed. You can see how it's changing already there. Not just lazily just dunking this and deep frying it. We're creating different layers of temperature. We could do the same thing and baste it like that. Take it to the lowest point. Just baste it. You'll know it's ready when the color on the outside is ready. And that's why you don't want the heat to be too much. You want it just at a low, medium heat. Just enough for it to, throughout the cooking process, have this sizzle. I think we're ready. Okay. There's our first schnitzel. Takes lemon juice, olive oil. You could put some Parmesan shreds in there if you'd like. That's really all it needs right there. And then we're going to take a little bit of Dijon mustard. Just put it on the bottom of the plate like that. Put that on the plate. Just off to the side like that. Now we have our final and finished dish. This is our pounded pork schnitzel with arugula lemon salad and Dijon mustard. Just really tried to show you guys how to take something very simple, 3 basic ingredients, and make it into a full dinner or a full plate, and that you take simple to spectacular. So the way I like to eat this is a piece of schnitzel, a little bit of mustard, a little bit of salad. Just like my mom used to make. Love you, Pennsylvania. Thank you. I hope you try this at home. I hope it inspired you. And I hope it helps you never have a bad cutlet or schnitzel again. Love you.
Wow, many thanks to Roy on that. And here's the schnitzel.
Oh,
right?
look at Frank getting fancy with it.
Well, you didn't do that? You
I already
didn't squeeze,
did it.
You didn't squeeze your lemon?
Oh my gosh, Frank. Come on, you should have done that ahead of time.
Well,
This is so
no.
good.
No, it is really
I
good.
couldn't wait.
What did you learn
good.
from Roy there as you watched Roy Choi? What
I
did you
learned
learn?
that you should be willing to try anything. I learned that listen to your mom, listen to your grandma.
Right.
Because they always cooked with love.
Right.
And that's what our restaurants do.
This is so good.
They cook and they serve with love. You know, you walk in and they come in, they're like, oh. They go, oh, Frank. And then they say, oh, Vanessa, it's so good to see you.
Are we kings tonight?
We're getting your
kings and queens? Or, look at this.
I feel like we're kings and queens. This is wonderful. So what we would love you to do, we're having fun, and this has been a great show. There's so many people right now that are not having fun, and they're trying to make ends meet. And we would love if you would help tonight. The number to text, HARP, H-A-R-P. The number is 717-220-5661.
Keep going. I got
Keep going. Joe, we're going to send it to you, Mr. Drink. This is wonderful.
Sure. So
Thank
just
you.
very quickly, as you can see, either the Chardonnay or the Pinot Noir goes terrifically with that pork. So whether you're a white wine drinker or a red wine drinker, we've got a little bit of something for you. Thank you. This has been great. I know we're going to turn to
Did you have
Roy
fun?
in just a moment.
Yes.
But I want to thank you both,
Yes.
Harrisburg University, the folks at Rock Lidditz, all of our sponsors, Members First, Sun Motor Cars, just have been absolutely fantastic. All of our sponsors, and we appreciate all of you at home for opening up your purses and wallets and helping those in the hospitality industry.
Yeah,
and let me go through some names here. We've had a lot of people that have
I love
donated,
it.
and I want to
Thank
acknowledge
you.
these people that have donated. Whether it's Kevin Shade, John Harris, Martha McGraw, Cheryl Campbell, Scott Rogers, Diane Bart, Tim Burns, Chad Barger, Lisa Martelli, Ryan Mert, Cindy Sisto, Thomas Rutherford. This is just one page of many, many pages as we've raised money, and thank you so much for donating here. Don't forget, we're going to be replaying this show for a couple weeks down the road here. It is a tax-deductible donation, and if you just text that name, Harp, to 717-220-5661, you're going to be helping out a lot.
You're going to be helping a neighbor, a server that you know.
Right. So, with that being said, we want to check in. Where is this money going to? What is the state of the industry now? This is Ben Felicia, who's going to tell us.
Restaurants build communities, right? So if you look at these little neighborhoods, what brings these neighborhoods together are restaurants. My name is Ben Felicia. I'm the Director of Operations and Strategy for the Pennsylvania Restaurant and Lodging Association. When we first started hearing about COVID and how it was going to affect everybody, right? Not just our industry, but everybody. We really decided that our association needed to figure out a way how to help the industry in a meaningful way. And the one thing that we did was, we knew that we were going to have to provide guidance and information and any type of support that we could. I mean, back then we also didn't know, we were looking down the road saying, all right, this is going to be a 2-month event. This is going to be a 3-month event. We'll get back open in June, maybe July. But, as we saw, it just kept getting worse and worse. Immediately we know that operators were at great risk. A lot of them went, obviously they went from doing 100% to all of a sudden just doing takeout, delivery, to-go, curbside pickup, which is not sustainable. I mean, right now we're at 50%, and that also is not sustainable. But it wasn't just the operators. There was a lot of employees out of work. In Pennsylvania, the restaurant industry is the second largest employer in the state, with close to 600,000 employees. In April, 90% of those employees were out of work. And, PPP was still months out. Unemployment was, not an option for everybody. And even if it was, it, really wasn't always the solution to help you get by. And personally, I started seeing a lot of Facebook pages with GoFundMe accounts, and people were calling me and saying, hey, listen, how can I help out? Which GoFundMe should I contribute to? There was offices that were collecting money every Friday for the industry because they know how vital it is, right? And they were calling me and said, listen, I have this $600 check, I have this $900 check, I have $1,000. Where should it go? And we decided then that, listen, we need to set up a fund in order to collect this money from all these people that have, gone out of their way to collect it and be able to distribute it in a fair way and make sure it gets into the hands of these restaurant employees who need it now. Right, so we worked with David Neff, who has Neff Associates in Philadelphia. They created this great website and marketing program for us, and it was called Harp, which is the Hospitality Assistance Response of Pennsylvania. And immediately we got a very large contribution from Yingling. We got a great contribution from Tito's Vodka, and very shortly we were able to get that money up to about $200,000. We opened up an application process, an easy application process for employees. So anybody that is working in hospitality that has been affected by COVID, which is everybody, was able to apply for this grant. And we were able to send out $250 checks to thousands of people across the state. And we're still collecting money, and we still open up our applications every couple months. As soon as we hit a certain amount of money, we want to get it out as quickly as possible. When I hear from the bartender or the server or the line cook that gets a $250 check in the mail, $250 can go a long way. It could be groceries for a couple weeks. It could go to help the bills. It could be just a little something to help get your life back to normal. So it definitely makes a difference, and I get many texts, many phone calls just saying thanks. And you know, it's not a lot, but it's something. There's still so many employees out of work. We've seen 100,000 restaurants across the U.S. close already. Just here in Philadelphia, in Center City, there's 60 permanently closed restaurants, 180 restaurants that have taken a hiatus just for the winter. So, you know, I have to say, you know, I appreciate all these chefs that are, you know, doing this program right now. You know, taking time out to spend to spread awareness of the industry, to spread awareness of the need. You know, we appreciate people going out to support restaurants. You know, if you're comfortable dining in, go dine in. If you want to sit outside, there's some great areas that you can still sit outside and have a great meal. If you just want to do takeout and to-go delivery, do that. If you want to buy a gift card, you know, a gift card is an immediate microloan to a restaurant. Please do that. However, these employees need your help more than anybody. You know, the restaurants can't take care of them on their own. The government can't take care of them on their own. So we need any help that you can give. So, you know, if it's $5, great. If it's $20, great. If it's $100, great. If it's $1,000, well, I'll cook you dinner if you do $1,000. When you look at travel and tourism, a big part of that are restaurants. We have a lot to lose if we don't support these guys right now. So it's not just the restaurant, it's not that brick and mortar, it's that whole community that's gonna feel that loss. So now more than ever, it's really important to support these guys.
Only you can donate now and help a neighbor, help the industry that we love so much that we never thought would be taken away from us. Lots of people couldn't get back to work, and you can help. Text the word HARP, H-A-R-P, to 717-220-5661.
And make that donation. It's a 501c3 tax-deductible donation. If you donate $250, you'll receive 2 tickets to Riverfront Park concert. We have many shows at Riverfront Park. We did Death Cab for Cutie last year. It's going to be Of Monsters and Men, Cage the Elephant, Portugal the Man, Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit. A lot of great bands. So with your donation of $250, you'll get 2 vouchers that'll be that you could use for any show. And with that being said, you know, Roy Choi, we just saw him cooking that demonstration. Yeah. Let's welcome him to the show right now. Roy, come on in here, buddy, and welcome to Just a Taste, the Great Pennsylvania Cooking Show. How are you?
Hey, Pennsylvania. I love your state.
You do?
I've got a lot of connections in Philadelphia, so happy to be here.
Tell us what the best thing you think about the state of Pennsylvania is. What do you love?
I love Scrapple. I love Philly hip hop. I love the west side of Philly. I love north side of Philly. I love Mark Vetri. I love Italian food. I love Scranton. And,
Scranton.
And then I love what else do I love? I love the Amish. Shout out to the Amish. And I always dreamed of going to Pittsburgh.
There you go.
I have friends that went to Carnegie Mellon, but ever since I was a kid, I was a huge Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell fan. And so I'd always dreamed of going to Pittsburgh. I just have never been.
Well, maybe we get him to a Steelers game sometime, you know? Maybe in the
or an Eagles game. One of the two.
Yeah.
So Roy, I want to ask you, so this fundraiser that we did here today was all for the hospitality workers. We've asked people to donate. With you having your position and done so much in the cooking and restaurant industry, can you just give us a little reflection on what you think or what you see from where you are or what has happened in the past year, but really what is the future for people to get back to work and for this industry to get back on their feet and get going?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here in Los Angeles, and I know a lot of the more metropolitan cities on the coasts are probably pretty much in the same boat as we are, but LA seems to be pretty extreme. Things are shut down, and there's really not the best communication between government and citizen about what steps are next. I don't think anyone is arguing having to give up something or stand by or be patient, but there's no information. And in the hospitality industry, the most important piece of what keeps us connected and tethers us together is communication. Whether that you're a cook on the line, whether you're at the pass, whether you're an expediter, whether you're saying behind on the front of the house, stand-ups and pre-shifts, it's all about communication. And I don't know what lies ahead. Again, right now, everything is shut down. It's really hurt a lot of small restaurants. I don't know if many of those are ever coming back. Neighborhood institutions. The dark side of me, I'm not sure what we remember of restaurants is going to come back fully the way it is. But maybe this could be a step into the new chapter. We do have to evolve, though. So if I could say one thing to the industry is, we got to start to let go of what maybe it used to be. And there, we were built on a house of cards to begin with. As beautiful of a house as it was, there are a lot of things that could have been improved, from, insurance to healthcare to just pay, the distribution of tips between front and back, just a lot of different things, so maybe this is a chance to evolve where it's going. You're seeing a lot of stuff going into the mobile sector right now, the delivery. I hope we don't have to eat out of plastic and paper containers for the rest of our life. That wouldn't be good for us and maybe the environment too,
Boy, that's the truth. Well, when you think about the food truck industry, do you see that still sticking around because it's mobile? People can be outside. People will stand in line for a good meal. We all know that, right?
Yeah, to be honest, a year ago when the pandemic hit and they instituted the lockdowns, I thought we were the first to go. I thought they were going to wipe out street food, and I thought this was going to be some kind of science fiction like spraying and cleaning of the fray of us on the margins. But weirdly enough, we're the ones that ended up surviving because we're mobile, because we're outdoors and we're flexible, and it's food that you don't have to eat sitting down in a curated environment, and take it back to your car and all that. So I think street food is here to stay, and that's where I just want to add this one piece. I think that's where we could see an evolution, because you see countries around the world where street food, everywhere from Singapore to Brazil to the Middle East to Africa to India, where street food is a dominant part of the culture. So that's where I see it going.
So Roy, where do you see that difference or that change from brick and mortar to mobile, where you see that delivery of food, like when you say you don't want to get to the plastic or the bags or anything like that? There's obviously a couple ways to go. If you were new and you were starting in this world right now under these conditions, how would you piece something together to A, be successful, earn an income, and then yet do what you love and start a business in the restaurant industry?
Well, there's a in the food truck we serve food on paper plates, but there's a clear distinction between food that's designed for the street or for mobility on the on the run, or just for a quick bite. Even it could even be a bowl of noodles that you slurp within 30 seconds, and the composition and creation of a whole environment in a brick and mortar where the food relies on many different hands. Sometimes the food itself is designed to where it has a very it's a living, breathing thing. It has a short shelf life that it can exist because it's It has an architecture and all these things that are very delicate. It requires a certain type of presentation and ceremony behind it, and those things are very hard to translate into a to-go delivery container. You know, because
Bad experience. Yeah.
yeah, that experience. Because sometimes food, the restaurant hospitality industry, the thing that we thrive to do to take care of people, that's not just the food. You know, it's everything around it. You know, like you could just give someone a key to an extra bedroom, but that's very different than checking into a hotel and having an amenity, having people take care of you and look out for you and call you by your name and really care that you're having a wonderful time in a city that you're not familiar with, you know. And all of those things have gone away. It's like culture.
Right.
Culture has gone away. And street food is its own culture. So what's happening now is everything is being lumped into this one bag. And it can't be, because they're different things.
So what do you tell the aspiring chefs, you know, the kids that they're growing up in the food culture and seeing it on TV and seeing these challenges and seeing you on TV and in the movies? What do you tell them? Do you tell them to go to culinary school? Do you tell them to just do what?
Yeah, I mean, culinary school is always great. There, you know, even though a certain form of the restaurant and the hotel and lodging and hospitality industry has been affected, it doesn't mean that we're gone for good. So, and if you're entering right now, it's a good time to enter because, you know, anything is possible. You know, like, of course it sucks and it hurts and, you know, we're fighting and you guys are raising money. We're all helping because there is also the reality of life, right. And people are affected and jobs are affected. But there's also, if you're entering right now, there's nothing that you're held down by. So you could, as much as we want to go back to the way it was, if someone can come in now and offer glimpses into the future, that's more important. You know, like a fresh point of view, a fresh mind, you know, an open heart, and really being able to, you know, redesign and add something new, you know.
Roy, let's talk about the home. Obviously, you know, we're helping people that have been displaced in this industry, but a lot of people cook at home. This has forced people not to go out to cook at home. Do you have any advice for people that are cooking at home, maybe to cook differently, maybe to look in a different angle as they're trying to put their meals together, because they're probably stuck in their ways? What would you say to someone to open their mind and what direction to go to try to maybe cook better, cook in a more fulfilling life, or maybe go in a different direction to open your eyes in other areas of food?
Well, I think this is a good time because a lot of people are now at home if you don't have a rice cooker, get a rice cooker. Because rice is your friend, you know, like you can really, you can make so many meals out of, you know, like even if you're not an experienced cook or you're getting bored of your own cooking, with rice, you can make so many different things with it, you know, everything, you know, even just butter and rice and a little soy sauce is delicious, you know.
Right.
So I think that this is an opportunity I've seen it already across, like, you know, social media where from TikTok to Instagram, where people are becoming better cooks, you know. So this is an opportunity where, you know, because cooking is a muscle memory. It's like anything. It's like any form or any craft or any sport that you do. You have to practice. Even like what you guys are doing too. Like you guys are extremely professional and fluent, and you're flowing in being hosts. Like you don't just like wake up and be able to do that. You have to practice that a little bit. And I see that a lot of people are practicing. So seasoning more is a big thing. I'm really happy that
seasoning.
Okay.
A lot more. They have the opportunity to make mistakes. You know, because before it was like you go out 90% of the time, and maybe 10% you're at home cooking. So it's like, but now it's like reverse. So people have the time to like do trial and error, season and eat it, and say, you know what, like I can go bigger, I can go bolder. You know.
What's the most overlooked piece of appliance in your kitchen, whether it be maybe it be a mixer or anything like that? What piece in your kitchen don't really people value?
I think a blender, for me, a blender is one of the most important pieces of equipment. And I think a blender, I may be assuming, but I think a blender in many cases is looked at only in the lens of like a smoothie or a milkshake.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think many people on a daily basis bust it out for like all of their favorite things, but a blender is so easy to take your cooking to the next level because you can just throw stuff in there and you can make these impromptu sauces.
Right.
And it also pushes you to eat a lot more fruits and vegetables
There
because
you
you're
go.
putting in shallots, garlic, green onions, ginger, you know, and then you can put liquids and vinegar, salts, these things in there. All of a sudden you have this wonderful sauce that now you can use for whatever it is you're going to do, whether it is you're going to put, you know, reduce it and put it on your proteins, you can glaze, whatever, so a blender.
That's great advice, and I know maybe I'll teach you to make ceviche one of these days. We'll get you a blender.
Maybe we'll get there. Roy, I want to thank you very much for being on the show today and being with us. And, you know, we loved your demonstration. We're going to feature your recipe. We loved your book. I think Nancy and I have passed it around. You got to buy one. Help
I
Roy
love it.
out.
I'm going to
You
go
gotta
get
buy one.
I'm getting a floral apron now because Roy says every kitchen needs one.
That's fair. But Roy, thank you very much again for being with us. Any last words to the people to ask them to donate to help us out, take it home here?
I'd just like to say that every penny matters. Just like in our industry, every hello, every grain of salt, every effort, every dish matters. A lot of people are really hurting out there, and this is all we know how to do. You know, like we are in the restaurant and hospitality industry because we kind of don't know how to do anything else, and it was kind of like taken away from us. And so any little bit helps right now. Because a lot of us really don't know where to turn.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Roy. We really appreciate you being here. Take care. We wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll see you down the road. Maybe we bring you into Harrisburg
Wouldn't that be
sometime
great?
for a live demonstration.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks,
All
Roy.
right.
Take care.
So once again, you text the word HARP, H-A-R-P, to 717-220-5661. And remember, you're going to be able to watch the show again and again, stop it, start it, wherever you want, but share it with your friends, share if you care, because we care about our restaurant and hospitality industry.
Yeah, I want to thank all our sponsors for making this night a great success. Nancy, you were fantastic.
And how about Rock Lidditz?
Yep.
Really?
What a
We couldn't
great
have done
job
this
they've
without
done
them.
here. We
And the
can't thank-
Hilton.
And the Hilton, and
our
Media
chefs.
Twist, and everybody, everyone
Everybody.
that's on the staff that certainly helped us out. Thank you to everyone that's been here. Please, again, text to HARP to give, and hopefully, you know, we're going to help everybody out. And hopefully we'll see you soon. So I guess we're going to say goodbye, but all I can say is good eats and good night.